knee to set it up properly. And then if you have your 2 blocks or a book or something, have those within reaching distance. And we're going to set the left foot right underneath the right knee. So it's not under the hamstring, but the knee. And then bring in the right foot, so it's underneath the left knee. And then you can feel with your hands, you can let them go down so you almost touch the outside edges of the feet there. And you know you're in the proper position. Your shins are crossing at the very center instead of the ankles. We'll take this block in front of us lengthwise and take your other block and set it behind your right hip at the lowest height. All right. We're here. I can't believe it. So excited. So we'll take this time to allow the sit bones to go down. So feel that release down of the sit bones into your blanket or your mat or whatever you're sitting on. And from there, just a gentle lift. Let the lower belly gently pull back and then up. So with your hands, let's use the hands on the knees to roll the chest up towards the chin. And then we'll slide the hands back so that the elbows rest between the shoulders and the hips. Give the frontal hip points just a tiny bit of a lift here so the sit bones can root right in the center. And then as you lift up through the crown of the head, allow your eyes to close from top to bottom. Ardha Yoga Nushasanam. And now the exposition of yoga begins. Taking your awareness inside your body. Slowing the breath each direction so that we create samavritti. Means equal churning of the breath. Elongate the inhalation to a slow count of 4 or 5 through the nose. And then a slow exhalation, lasting count of 4 or 5 on the exhale. We bring this breath into an evenness. Just to calm the nervous system. Continue with this nice breath work. We'll be here a good maybe 10 breaths to begin our practice today, just to ground and center. And allow this sense of loving awareness to fill your body. Allow this loving awareness to enter into your heart. And allow this loving awareness to enter into your mind. We'll approach the practice today with this loving kindness towards ourselves. So you'll know in your practice today that you do what's right for your body. I can't see you. So you become very aware, finally attuned into what's going on. And please know the difference between pain. A pain that's going to lead to an injury, you'll come out. A pain that is just uncomfortable, that you can breathe through, perhaps you stay in. Let your shoulders melt down away from the ears. And then taking the hands to the heart center, lifting the chest, lowering the forehead just a little, and setting in an intention to come into this loving presence for yourself. And perhaps we are able to hold that loving presence for others as well. And then you can release your palms, lift your gaze, and we'll come forward onto the fingertips. So pause here for a moment Oh, can you see my hands? and lift the frontal hip points so that the center of the sit bones are down. And then look forward as you start to walk your hands forward. Elongate the front of the body. Keep the sit bones firmly rooted. You walk the fingers out a little bit more. And then you'll elongate and set the center of the forehead down onto the block. So of course, you can adjust this block any height you need to rest your forehead on something. I'm just going to move my screen down a little. There we go. We'll re-root into the sit bones and let the belly sternum crawl forward towards your thumbs. Let the underside of the arms lift up tremendously as we firm the outer arms in. Feeling the breath move across the back. And then one hand at a time, we'll walk you back. Take your left hand over your right knee. Take your right fingers onto that right block behind your right hip. And on an inhalation, roll the chest up. Let the elbows wing out to the side like wings of a bird. And on an exhalation, from these left kidney ribs, begin to revolve the chest just gently. And as you revolve, let that left sit bone release down heavy towards the floor. Inhale lengthens the front of the body. And the exhale, just gently revolving back. Roll the right shoulder back as your right elbow points straight back. And then release, come forward, and we'll switch. Other shin in front and move your block behind your left hip. And see that your feet are set correctly. And so this becomes a great hip stretch here. The legs are set nicely with the front of the shin almost parallel to the front edge of the mat. The ankle slightly behind the knee to protect your knee. And then come forward onto the fingertips. Give the lower abdomen a scoop so that the center of the sit bones are down and rooted. And then start to walk forward with the fingertips. But keep your head up. Look forward. And then pull the front of the body. Lengthen the front of the body forward more. And crawl the fingertips out. And then elongate the neck. Setting the center of the forehead down. You can settle back into the breath here. Coming into Samavriti. Perhaps you feel the side ribs moving horizontally on the inhalation. And on the exhalation, everything comes back to center. And then walking your hands back one at a time. And we'll twist to the left. Take your fingertips onto the block. My fingers are set like this on my back block, and then wing the elbows out to the side so that you can roll the chest up. Situate the crown of the head right over the tailbone and begin to revolve on your exhale. Inhale, roll the chest up, and exhale from these right kidney ribs, gently revolve. And just give that right sit bone, release it down. And then release and come forward. And we'll come off of our blanket, if you had it, and take that off to the side. And if you have both your blocks, we'll use them. So one will go lengthwise, right underneath your head, and we'll set another one up towards the top of the mat on the second highest height. This is the lowest height. And we'll come into a closed-kneed child's pose. My knees are together. If your sit bones aren't down, you can put a blanket. And we'll come down. Just walk your hands forward. And then before you come down, please scoop scoop the lower abdomen a little bit so that the sit bones go down. And then just like we did earlier, walk your hands forward, belly sternum pulling forward, and elongate your neck. When the front of the body is fully extended, and set the center of the forehead down. The underside of the arms are lifting up. I'm cupping the hands like tennis balls underneath the hands, and then firm the upper outer arms in. As you lift the underside of the arms up as much as you can, let the muscles at the very base of your neck soften. And then one more time, let the sit bones root down towards the heels and crawl the belly sternum forward. So you're elongating the front of the body, the side waist. And then to set your palms flat, keeping the underside of the arms lifted. And keeping your hands exactly where they are on an inhalation. Come up to all fours. Lift the forearms up out of the wrist and pull the forearms towards each other and lift the front of the body away from the mat. Keep that. Tuck the toes and slowly take your hips up and back into downward dog as the backs of the forearms press towards the top of your mat. And I'm going to ask for today that we stay still. You can bend your legs one at a time. I know some of you are. But I'm going to ask, we're having a rooting practice today. So let's allow the hands and the feet to root. And from there, let the hips lift up and back as high as you can. With the hands pressing, let the forearms lift up away from the floor. Relax the neck. And come back to the breath. The eyes be soft. And cultivate that ujjayi breath. Let there be a slight audible sound to the breath. Nice soothing breath. Two more breaths. You're pressing the floor down and away, down as you lift the hips up and back. And then we'll walk the feet up around that block that was underneath the head, so that the insides of the feet firm around that block. Take your hands, you can either be on your fingertips under the shoulders, or if your hamstrings are tighter, you'll take your hands up onto the block under the shoulders. And I'm trying to situate my sit bones over the heels. Press down with the feet as you lift the kneecaps up, and then inhale, pull the chest, the front of the body forward as you gently roll the inner thighs back. If you can, if your legs can remain straight, do that. If they need to bend, it's fine. As you forward fold, take the fingertips next to the toes and release the head down. Inhale, come forward again, either on the fingertips or hands on blocks. Pull the chest forward as all four sides of the thighs lift. Keep the thighs lifted as you exhale, forward fold, release the crown of the head down. Come forward again. Inhale, pull the chest forward, lifting the thighs, kneecaps lifting. Take your hands to your hips, roll the shoulders back, press into the feet, and inhale, rise up to stand. Okay, let's take these blocks. We'll have them off to the side, and we'll begin some sun salutations, just to warm up the body. So spreading the toes. See that your feet are parallel. The center of your heel lines up with your second toe. And then press down with the feet. And from the feet pressing down, everything else is lifting up. The knees are lifting up. The front and backs of the legs, the sides of the legs are lifting up tremendously. And then take the top of the buttock with your thumbs and encourage the top of the buttock down. The upper inner thighs gently release back. And let all four sides of the waist lift up out of the pelvis. Crown of the head lengthens towards the ceiling. From the inner arm, roll the entire arm open. Repress into your feet and inhale the arms up. Let's look straight ahead this first time. Press down with the feet as you lift the torso away from the lower back. You can grow another inch here. Inhale, go up, and exhale, kneecaps stay lifted, hips over the heels. If you can, do forward fold. Release the head. Inhale, Ardha Chandrasana, pull the breastbone forward, bend the knees, right foot back, butt bones down heavy, and then pull the chest forward. Press into the hands, quietly step back, plank. Inhale here, and do not shift forward. Bend the elbows first straight back, and then as the elbows are bent, now shift forward. And exhale to the floor slow. Chest hits first. Low cobra, press into the tops of the feet, roll the shoulder heads up and back, and let the pubic bone lift up towards the navel. Pull the breastbone forward. Set your knees down. Let the front of the abdomen pull away from the floor, and one unit. Press up to the knees, no rolling, and hips up and back. Downward facing dog. Keep your hips high, looking at the right thumb. Step your right foot up to the right thumb, best you can. Butt bones down. Pull the chest forward. Drive down into the right heel as you step the back leg up. Inhale. Ardha Uttanasana, breastbone pulls forward. Exhale, forward fold. Arms to the side, lengthen spine, rising to stand. You can look up, feel the palms if it feels okay. Exhale, hands, heart center. Release the palms, repress into the feet, inhale, you can look up, the arms are straight. Exhale, hinging from the hips, forward fold. Drop the head. Inhale, lengthen. Bend the knees, left foot steps back, slowly, gracefully. Butt bones down, pull the chest forward, and without lifting the hips, step back, plank. Inhale here, bend your elbows, shift the body forward, pause one breath, chaturanga. Inhale here, and exhale to the floor. Take your legs as wide as your mat, and set your forehead down. Lift the shoulder heads, and we'll inhale, come up. The first time, straighten the arms. Allow the pelvis to come up slightly. And then press your shoulder head back, bend the elbows, reset the pelvis down, looking straight ahead, melt back down to the floor. Of course, you're only going to go as high as your back allows. Inhale, come up. This time we keep the pelvis down. Puff the chest, look straight ahead, relax the rear end, and exhale, back down. One more. Inhale, come up. Modified version of Bhujangasana. Puff the chest towards the chin, press the shoulders back, and as you look straight ahead, melt back down into your basket, cobra. Bring the legs together, closer, knees down, front of the abdomen away, and press up one unit to the knees, and up and back, downward facing dog. Take a breath. Hips up and back. Looking at the left thumb, step the left foot to the left thumb. Butt bones down. Pull the chest forward and step forward. Inhale. Ardha Uttanasana, lift the kneecaps. Keep them lifted as you exhale, forward fold. Arms to the side, sternum bone leads the way, chin slightly tucked, rising to stand. Look up, exhale, hands, heart center. Release the palms. Inhale, press into the feet. Look up. Exhale, hinging from the hips, forward fold. Inhale, Ardha Uttanasana. My fingernails are going to go right next to the toenails. Press into the hands, step or jump back. Chaturanga. Inhale, upward facing dog. Look straight ahead this first one, and lift the inner thighs. Press the shoulder heads back, and exhale, hips go up and back. Downward facing dog. 5 breaths. The end of your next exhalation, bend your knees, look where you're going. You can step or jump your feet up. Inhale, Ardha Chandrasana. Exhale, forward fold. Arms to the side, rising to stand. Inner thighs go back as you look up, breastbone to the thumbs, and exhale, hands heart center. Release the palms. 2 more. Inhale, Surya Namaskar A. Inhale. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, Ardha Chandrasana. Fingernails in line with toenails. Press into the palms, step or float back. Chaturanga. Pause. Inhale, upward dog. And exhale, downward dog. So as we press into the hands and feet, let the underside of the arms go up, upper arms firm, and upper inner thighs just gently roll back. The belly of the hamstring widening towards the back of your mat. And starting to press more into your hands, taking the gaze up towards the thumbs. Bend the knees, tailbone down, step or float. Inhale, Ardha Chandrasana. Exhale, forward fold. Arms to the side, rising. Looking up. Exhale, hands, heart center. Release the palms, repress into the feet. Inhale. Surya Namaskar A. Exhale, forward fold. Uttanasana. Inhale, Ardha Chandrasana. Bend the knees, plant your hands, step or lightly float back. Chaturanga. Pause. Inhale, upward facing dog. And exhale, downward facing dog. 5 breaths. End of your next exhale, bend the knees, look at the thumbs, step or lightly float. Inhale, Ardha Chandrasana. Exhale, forward fold. Arms to the side, firm the outer hips, rising to stand. And exhale, hands heart center. Release the palms, eyes look straight ahead, nice and soft. And we'll turn to face the side of the mat. You feel your heart rate going? Feel that warming action of Surya Namaskar. Surya means sun, so we get that sun, bright energy filling the body and creating some heat. So if you have both your blocks, set them towards the back of your mat at the highest height. And they're not in my way here. Okay. Standing at the very center of your mat. Press down with the feet, take the fingertips to the chest, elbows to the side. Bend the knees, put your weight back into your heels. You can step or jump your feet wide. Feet underneath the hands. Let's stay here for a moment. Press down into the feet, lift the kneecaps up, roll the upper inner thighs back, and elongate the top of your buttock down, just like we did in Tadasana, and start to lift all 4 sides of the waist up, especially the back ribs, with the shoulders melt down. And from here, we'll turn to the right. The left toes go in, I'm not mirroring you. The entire right leg swivels out and straighten the leg. Inhale here, press the outer rim of the left heel down as you bend. See that the knee is right over the heel, so I'm making my stance bigger. When I have my thigh parallel to the floor, the knee is underneath the heel. Inhale, come back up. Sorry, that was long. Exhale, bend back down, moving dynamically. Inhale, up. Exhale, back down. Stay, warrior 2, Virabhadrasana 2. And press into the outer left heel, lift the inner left ankle up, and start to firm that right buttock, making a little more space to slop that right buttock underneath you as your right inner knee presses back. And coming into Parsvakonasana, first we shift the hips. The right sit bone goes to the left inner thigh. Boom, like Elvis. Set your hand down to the block outside your right ankle, and let's use your left thumb to encourage the top of the left buttock down towards the left heel. So my front hip points are lifting up. And take the top arm over the ear. Press into your right heel and let that, imagine a string from your outer right knee to your right hip, pull back. Revolve the right ribs under the left. Maybe you look up. Nice. Parsvakonasana. Take your left arm straight up, press into your feet, and inhale, come up slow. Come back to warrior two, looking over the right fingers. Give that left thigh a good pressing back. And inhale, straighten the legs, hands to the hips, and parallel the feet. Take a breath, reestablish the pelvis, and turn in, pivot in your right toes. Entire left leg swivels out from deep within the hip socket. We'll have that block ready outside the left ankle. Inhale the arms up. Inhale here, imagine you're hanging onto a rope behind you with your right hand, and like you don't want to, begin to bend. And we'll inhale, come back up. Exhale, resist bending down, driving into the left heel as you bend, and inhale back up. Exhale, hang on to that imaginary rope with the right hand and slowly come down. Looking over the left fingers. Let the shoulders relax down, crown of the head up. Shift, left sit bone to the right inner thigh. Whoop, Elvis. You take your hand to the block and use your right thumb. So if your butt's sticking out, take your thumb and encourage the top of that right buttock down towards your right heel. And then pull your waist out. Left ribs pull out. And take the right arm up and over the ear. And many of us need to let the front body fill in the back body. Roll the left ribs under the right. That left heel press, imagining that string from your outer left knee to your hip, firming in, pressing the right thigh back. The right arm up, press into the feet as you inhale, rise. Stay low, look over the left fingers, and straighten the legs. Hands to the hips, parallel the feet. Get that one out. Take a breath. Pivot in the left toes, entire right leg swivels out. I'm going to move back a little because I'm going to transition into Ardha Chandrasana. So bend the front knee a little and take your hands and I want you to move the inner thigh to the outer thigh as you re-straighten that leg. See that the center of the thigh, the knee, and the second toe all line up straight ahead. And then lift the kneecaps to lock that in place. Don't move the lower body. Just take your right ribs, lift them up, and then move the right ribs towards me or wherever, forward. Yeah? Take your arms out, and we'll take the right hand in that right hip crease and press it straight back towards your left foot. The outer right hip revolves back towards your left knee. Your right shoulder's right over your right knee. Spin the chest and take your hand down to your block. So let's take the block right outside the shin. So the hand is right under the shoulder and take the left arm up. You can take that block any height you need. And let's take the left hand down to these right ribs and press them down. Let those left ribs deflate as the right ribs pull out. And you can take that left arm up. Trikonasana. Front body fills in a little more of the back body. Take the left hand down, look down, bend your front knee, and scooch all your weight up onto your right foot. And the block is underneath the 18 inches in front of the right pinky toe, and lift the left leg up. Start to roll the right ribs forward and take the left arm up. A couple breaths. Take your left hand to your waist, look down, bend your standing leg. Tap your left toes down and then step back. Take your block with you for Trikonasana, full pose. Press into your feet. We're going to come up slow. Inhale, come up 5, 4, 3, 2. Reverse Trikonasana. Look up with the eyes as you take the right fingers towards the ceiling. And then exhale, just come down. Warrior 2 for a breath. Inhale, straighten the leg. Hands on the hips. Parallel the feet. Take a breath here. Pivot in your left toes. Entire right leg swivels out. I'm going to move back. And lift. Actually, we'll bend that front knee just a little so that we get the idea that this front leg really sets up the entire pose. So rolling the inner thigh to the outer thigh, so the center of the thigh, the knee, the second toe, all line up straight ahead. You want to keep that well, so lift the kneecaps to lock that in place. Lift the ribs and spin those left ribs. Don't let the pelvis move. Take the arms out to the side and then kick that hip back. The upper body just goes over like a teapot. The outer left hip goes back towards the right heel and setting the hand underneath the shoulder. Press into your right heel and take the tailbone forward. If it feels okay, spin your head with the neck nice and long, crown of the head lengthening towards your left toe. You look up. Pull the left ribs out. Take your right hand to your waist, look down, bend the front leg, and we'll put all our weight into the left leg, setting that block 18 inches in front of the left pinky toe. Pause for a second. Flex your right foot. Lots of energy in the right leg as you float the leg up. You can use your right thumb to take the top of the right buttock towards your right heel. So the front hip points are still lifting. The left rib spin towards the front of the mat, and you can take the top arm up. So use the back leg is super strong, pressing out through the inner heel. One more breath. Ardha Chandrasana, half moon pose. Take your right hand to your waist, bend your standing leg, tap the right toes down, and then step back, full pose, Trikonasana. Press into your feet, come up slow, using the side obliques. And exhale down, reverse Trikonasana. Both legs straight. Roll the right shoulder back. And on an exhalation, we'll come forward. Warrior 2. Inhale, straighten the legs. And hands to the hips. Parallel your feet. And if your hamstrings are tight, take your blocks in front of you for a little more support. See that your heels are equal distance to the back of your mat, so your feet are, one's not in front of the other. All 10 toes face straight ahead. And, oh my gosh, I'm panting. You guys panting? Press into your feet, the inner and outer feet equally, and then firm the outer ankles in. Lift the knees, outer hips firm, and use your thumbs to encourage the top of the buttock down. We're going to roll, coming into Parsvakonasana 8. Roll the chest up to make your face parallel to the ceiling. And on an exhalation, we'll come forward, keeping the sit bones in line with the heels, firming the outer hips to protect your lower back. And then set your hands down either on the blocks or on the floor. Come onto the fingertips and inhale, reach your breastbone forward as the tops of the thighs go back. And there's work to be done here. This is where you need to work. Keep your legs straight so you can open your hamstrings. If you have more to go, walk your hands back. Release the crown of the head towards the floor. The forearms come straight up out of the earth like flagpoles coming straight up. The inner elbows come closer so that the arms are parallel. And then let the shoulders lift up gently towards the hips. The back is slightly rounded. It's okay. We're letting the legs open, the outer hips firm. And we form this container, the outer ankles firm, and letting the inner thigh spread to the outer thigh. The belly of the hamstring goes and it widens into the container. One more breath. Your next inhalation, come forward, fingertips underneath the shoulders, and we reset the outer ankles and hips firming, hands to the hips, roll the shoulders back, and inhale, come up. Bend the knees, step or jump, your feet together. Okay, very good. Shake your legs. And we will come into one Surya Namaskar B. Get my blocks. I don't need these. This is slow. We'll hold warrior one, maybe an extra breath. So spreading your toes, coming to the top of the mat, and reestablish, coming back to Tadasana. This is coming back to neutral, coming back to zero. These in-between times is where the yoga happens. What does your mind do? Where does it go? Does it get impatient? Just notice what's going on. So let the feet root. Feel where your weight is in your feet. Lift the knees, upper inner thighs spin back, top of the buttock down, sides of the waist lifting, and roll the arms open. Eyes soft ahead. On your next inhalation, sit down, Utkatasana, chair pose. Shift your weight back into the heels, lift the frontal hip points up, and maybe look straight ahead. Exhale, arms to the side, fingernails align with toenails, and forward fold, Uttanasana. Inhale, Ardha Chandrasana. Plant your hands, step or float back, Chaturanga. Pause. Inhale, upward facing dog, and exhale, downward facing dog. Keeping your hips high, pivot your left heel to your right foot. Looking up at the right thumb, step the foot to the right thumb, and pause. Butt bones down, outer hip pins in, and we'll take both thumbs to the top of the buttock, lengthen the chest forward, and inhale, come up. Interlace your thumbs in front of you. Left thigh, super straight. That left thigh presses straight back. And take the thumbs. The top of the buttock is going towards the left heel. And we'll interlace the thumbs, pull the arms apart. And as the arms go up, lift all four sides of the waist, especially the back ribs. Up, 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 up. Turn your palms to face each other. Maybe you look up, seal the palms, bend a little more, and exhale. Hands frame the front foot. Pivot high on your back toes. Eyes stay forward, step back, plank. Then the elbows, exhale into Chaturanga. Inhale, upward dog. And exhale, downward facing dog. Pivot your right heel to the left foot. We're setting the back foot first. Left foot steps to the left thumb. Set the pelvis, butt bones down heavy. Take both thumbs to the butt, top of the buttock, take it down. and then come up, lift the chest. Other thumb on top, pull the arms apart, and with the back heel firmly rooted, give that right thigh a good pressing back, and now we're ready to take the arms up. Let the waist, the back ribs lift out of the lumbar. Turn your palms to face each other. The pinky edge side finger reaches up towards the ceiling. Perhaps you seal your palms. Bend a little more. Exhale the arms down. Hands frame the front foot. Pivot high on the back toes. Look forward. You're in high lunge. Quietly step back. Plank. And exhale down. Chaturanga. Inhale. Upward facing dog. And exhale back. Downward facing dog. So much harder to move slow, isn't it? Slow the breath. Come high on your tippy toes. And I'm going to set the knees down. We're not finishing out this whole Surya Namaskar B. Please come down to rest. Child's pose. Did you know you could do this any point in class? Maybe take the hands back by the heels, rest the forehead down, and inhale through the back of your heart. Hold the breath, let it swirl around, and exhale through the front of the heart. 2 more like that. And take your hands by your knees and inhale. Come up. All right. If you can sit on your heels, do that. Otherwise, you're sitting on a block or two. Allow the inner knees to relax here. Just take a few breaths. And we'll come into Dolphin. So, Dolphin is such a wonderful pose to prepare the body for inversions. So, we'll strengthen the body, getting ready to actually go upside down next week, okay? So this time I'm at home, you can do whatever you want. But for today, those of you following me, I'm gonna strengthen. So take your block, your hands will be around the block, and elbows under the shoulders. I'm going to situate just like that, you see, to begin. Cut down the outer side of the arms like a knife, and then this is Schlumpy Dunk, so you can try that. Schlumpy Dunk your chest down, and then press into the forearms and lift the collarbones, insides of your shoulders as far away from the floor as you can. Feel a slight engagement, the lower belly pulls in. Keep your shoulders exactly where they are, and lift your hips. Look at your feet. We try to keep the shoulders from moving as we walk the feet in, so you know where to stop. If your hamstrings are tight, you won't walk in any, and you can also take your feet as wide as the mat if your hamstrings are tighter. Those of you who have more to go, walk your feet in a little more, and then take your gaze in between the forearms, lift the collarbones, everybody, and we'll inhale the right leg up from the inner thigh. So don't let that hip open, roll the inner thigh towards the ceiling, and then lift the chest away from the floor. Exhale the leg down, we go left side. Inhale the left leg back and up. Lift the outer right hip up as well. And keep lifting, pressing into the forearms, lifting the chest. Hold. And exhale, down. Walk your feet out and set your knees down. And rest. That was so much fun. We're going to do it again. Let's come forward. We'll start with the left leg this time. You feel yourself getting stronger? Press down into the forearms, lift the underside of the, lift the sternum towards the back body. Tuck the toes, and here we go, hips up. Look towards the feet, walk the feet in. Feel your shoulder blades press into your back here so that we're not letting the upper back round. Then retake your gaze in between the forearms and inhale the left leg up. Lift the chest away from the floor. Spin the inner left thigh towards the ceiling. And exhale down. Right leg up. Roll the outer hip down. Lift, lift, lift. Outer left hip lifts even a little bit here as well. And exhale. Walk your feet back. And set your knees down. And come back and rest again. Child's pose. Your hands under the shoulders. And inhale. We'll come back up. Vajrasana. Alrighty. Feel those arms, shoulders working. So good. Let's turn around and come into bridge. Please have, if you have your blocks, we're going to have them within reaching distance. And I'm going to demonstrate this first. So if you wouldn't mind watching me for a moment, I'm going to come to lie down. I'm going to take the fleshy part of my upper arms and roll it under so that my outer shoulders are down, my elbows, the whole upper arm is pressing. And when I press into the outer arm, the chest already goes up. My heels under the knees, press into the heels, float the hips up. My thighs aren't going out, they're parallel. And then I'll interlace and roll the outer shoulders under more. Press the knees towards the shoulders to make the breastbone go a little more perpendicular. And then I will take the blocks and set them underneath the hips. And that goes under the sacrum area. Roll the shoulders under more. I'm not dumping in my chest. And if that's steady, we'll take the legs up. So notice I'm not doing this. Rolling the outer shoulders, lifting the chest. Okay? You can join me. So let's lie down. Robot arms. Roll the fleshy part of the upper arm down. Press into the entire upper arm, chest lifting already here. And then press into the heels and let the hips float up. Thighs stay parallel. Interlace your hands underneath and roll to the outside of your shoulders as much as you can. Press into the entirety of your outer arms and lift. Can you release the inner groins down? There's a softening there. And then begin to press into your feet as you take your shins and your knees towards your shoulders. Notice how you're getting a little more of a back bend in the upper spine. That's what we want. That's where we want a back bend from. The top of the buttock is lengthening towards the backs of your knees, and the upper inner thighs are releasing towards the floor. Good. There's a slight engagement of the gluteus, but not so much that the thighs are splaying out to the side. Let's grab the blocks and place them underneath the hips. So maybe use one that feels better for you, or two. And then setting the sacrum down. Roll the outer shoulders under again. And maybe some of you have your hands around that block to help you. And then give it a test. Make sure you're stable. Taking the knees up and straightening the legs. So press into the entirety of the outer arm, lifting the chest up. You can see your pretty toes. Spread the toes. See if you can get that pinky toe to move. Come on, pinky toe. Slow the breath. I want you to try sending the breath in this direction. Your next inhale, imagine inhaling from the pelvic bowl up the spine, and then exhaling through your throat. 2 more. Inhale up the spine. And as you exhale, let the throat spread, widen and spread. We're clearing the throat chakra. You're able to speak your truth freely. Three more breaths. At the end of your next exhale, you'll bend your knees and then set 1 foot down at a time. And please lift your hips up and stay there. Roll your palms open so your palms face up. The heels press, the inner and outer feet are even in their weight. Lift your hips higher. And then remove your blocks off to the side and flatten the space between the shoulder blades. Let that spine settle down. And we'll come down 1 vertebra at a time. Tailbone, sacrum lifting high. And then the sacrum will hit like a plate. Take your feet as wide as your mat, with your arms like cactus arms. And we'll take the legs into Windshield Wipers, side to side. Just slowly. So everybody, let's have your knees to the left right now. And just pause. Begin by bringing just your right knee up. Let the left leg be completely passive. Passive, passive. And it'll come up, the left leg will come along when it has to. Same with the other side. Let the left leg initiate the movement. The right leg is passive. And then we'll pause with the knees to the left. Both your feet are wide on your mat. And begin to press into your right inner foot as you firm that right buttock. And let that right hip go up. And gently press the right inner knee down as you press your right shoulder down. We're stretching a muscle, the rectus femoris, the longest quadriceps that goes over the hip and the knee. And then begin to release that down. We'll go to the other side. Both knees drop to the right. Begin to press into the left inner foot, firming that left buttock. But the left inner knee gently goes towards the floor. You might feel that muscle all the way in the hip flexor over the knee. Slow the breath. And then release that and come back down. Bring your knees into your chest. Flex your feet. And roll the outer shoulders down. And with your hands, giving the shins a good press down. Let the sacrum tailbone also lengthen down towards the floor. So we're settling the spine. Relax any tension in the throat, in the jaw, and your lips. Notice the shape the breath takes in your torso. Relax the eyelids. And then please extend your arms out to the side, palms the same height as your shoulders, and reach. Really try to touch the sides of the room you're in. Roll the upper shoulders down, and then drop your knees over towards your left elbow. Your left hand on top of your right knee. Snuggle your left shoulder blade to the left, just a little, so your chest is a little more upright. And then reach with the right fingers to the right, and can you start to press that right shoulder blade into the back ribs so there's a slight lift of the chest here. And with your inhale, fill in, let the inhale go behind the heart, lifting the chest a little more. And on the exhale, let the right ribs energetically pull to the right. Your left hand is securing the knees together. You can release your head to the right thumb. End of your next exhale, extend your left arm out, pressing into the backs of the shoulders, knees stay together. Inhale the legs up and over. Taking the knees close to the right elbow. And setting the right hand on top of the left knee. Scooch the right shoulder blade to the right. And reach through the left finger. Press into the fingers. Press into the back of your left hand so that you feel that shoulder blade pressing, lifting the chest. Just gently, like Mati would say, there is like a twinkle light. The bottom tip of that left shoulder blade lighting up the chest. And feel that light, that lift of the chest, to breathe behind the heart. And as you exhale, let those left ribs, left fingers gently pull to the left. And allow that left shoulder to go down away from your ear. And then please take your left arm over to your right, so you're lying on the right side of your body. Look down and press yourself up to sit. I think I can read your minds, and you wanted to go into Savasana. Am I right? We'll come into Parsvakonasana, and then we'll do Savasana. So I'm looking around for something to make my pose a little more comfortable. So if you have a bolster or even 2 blankets, I'm going to set that on top of my lap and have a block to rest my forehead on. Let's turn this way. And I want you to make this pose not about a super big stretchy pose, but more of a relaxing pose. So I'll have the block ready for my head, and if you have blankets or a bolster here, I'll just slide them down the sides of the blanket or the bolster, grabbing the sides here, or if you have more to go, you grab your feet, and then rest your forehead down. Let the skin on your forehead be gently depressed down towards the bridge of your nose. There's a pressure point, a relaxation point there. Breathing into the back side of your body, trying to fill in. Just noticing how this pose affects your mental state. Allow a sense of peace to enter the mind. Let a sense of peace start to enter your body. And let a sense of peace start to enter your heart. Let go. Release across the shoulders. And then slowly come up. You can take your hands back by the hips and inhale. Come up. Now, we'll set up for Savasana. I'll use one blanket at shoulder stand height just for a soft rest, soft little pillow for the head. And I'm going to use my other blanket to put on top of the thighs. So the blanket supporting the neck and the head, not the shoulders. And scooch the buttocks flesh towards the heels, extend your legs. And set that blanket or anything you might have top of the thighs. And take a moment to snuggle shoulder blades underneath you so that the upper inner arms face the ceiling. If you get any pinching in your lower back, scooch the buttocks flesh down towards the heels. And then find yourself in a comfortable position where there's no need to fidget. Closing the eyes. Allow the eyeballs to drift down towards the back of your skull. Let the brain drift down and recede. Let it be held by the back of the skull. Relaxing the root of your tongue. Allow your throat to widen and spread. Unwind your abdomen. And unclench and soften. And take rest. without changing anything. Still relaxing. Start to deepen the breath, sending the breath all the way down to the toes. And taking your hands to your lower ribs. Just observing the rise and fall of your ribs, your belly as you breathe. Feeling the warmth of your hands. Allowing this to be a gesture of loving kindness towards yourself. Coming back from this quieter place of loving awareness, this place of being the witness. And then please bend your knees one at a time and roll to your right side. And turning your chest towards the floor, let your face be the last thing to come up. And we'll sit tall. Just feeling the sit bones down into the earth, into your mat. Hands come to the heart center. Lifting the chest. And then with a sign of respect and dignity, allow the chin to drop. Closing the eyes for a moment. Letting that loving awareness permeate body, mind, and heart. So thank you so much for joining me this morning. I hope you feel better. Namaste. Oh, thank you, lovelies. That was a treat for me. And oh, good. I see some comments. Jennifer, Elliot, thank you, sweetie. Nice to see you. Shiloh, thank you. Stacy, thank you. So I will be back next Saturday at the same time, 11. And also Monday and Wednesday night at 6. Yeah, say hi. I want to see you. I just want to hug you. Hug, hug, hug. Love you guys so much. Thank you, Lauren. Mariah, oh good. Sorry, there was a little blip in the beginnings. Thank you for holding with me through that. Oh my gosh, thank you. Thank you, Farah. Thank you, Kaylee. Thank you, Anthony. Mariah, Lauren. Brenda, oh Brenda. I owe you a text.